In this video, we're going to look at harmonic form, which is a useful way of representing some amount of cos x's plus some amount of sine x's. Let's have a look. Okay, so harmonic form is a useful way of representing something like this. So I've got some cos x's plus some amount of sine x's. Really, we could have plus or minus some amount of sine x's. Basically, it's an amount of cos x plus an amount of sine x. And harmonic form is a useful way of representing this. Let's plot this on a graph and see what it looks like. Okay, so here I am in Desmos, and we can plot this. So if I plot y equals 3 cos x plus 4 sine x, and it's automatically plotting in radians, so it will always do that unless you specifically ask for degrees. Well, what do we notice? Well, when I add a bunch of cos x's plus a bunch of sine x's, the result looks very much like a sine curve or a cosine curve. And in fact it is. And so this is the cool thing. I can have any amount of cos x and any amount of sine x, or I could make this negative. I could change this to a 7, really anything. And I've still always just got some transformation of a sine graph. And this, in essence, is what harmonic form is. It's that when we have any amount of cos x and any amount of sine x, we can represent it as a single transformation of either a sine curve or a cos curve. So what does this mean in practice? Well, we saw that when we plotted this, it was some kind of transformation of either a sine or a cos graph. And basically it's been stretched up and down a bit, and it's been moved side to the side a bit. So algebraically, if we wanted to represent it as a transformation of sine, it would be, well, sine of x plus something. That would shift it around side to side and then stretched out by something. We typically use r to represent how much it's been stretched out and alpha to show how much it's been moved side to side. We could also represent it as r cos x plus alpha. So the cos graph shifted around by some amount and stretched out a little bit. So our job is basically to, well, pick which form we want to represent it in, although often that's given in a question, and then figure out by how much it's been shifted around and how much it's been stretched out. All right, let's actually try to do this now. So I'm going to represent this, or going to try to represent this in the form r sine of x plus alpha. Okay, and I want to find some number r and some number alpha such that these two things are completely identical. And what are the constraints on this? Well, we're going to talk more about the constraints on this soon, but I want my r to be positive, and then I want my alpha, to shift it around only a small amount. So obviously, because the sine curve repeats, we could have it shifted a million miles down and it might still lock in. But I'm going to constrain alpha to be, for example, something between 0 and 180. So I'm going to lock alpha between 0 and 180. I'm going to do this in degrees, by the way, now, but of course we could do it in radians as well. All right, so here's how this works. We start off by expanding this using our addition formula. So I can say that r sine of x plus alpha is the same as r times, and then if I expand sine of something plus something, okay, sine of a plus b, it's sine a cos b plus sine b cos a. Okay, now let's expand this out, and I'm just going to shuffle the order around. You'll see why I'm doing that in a second. I get r times cos alpha times sine x, and I get r times sine alpha times cos x. Okay, now here's the clever bit. This expression here is supposed to be identical to this expression here. And if they're identical, it means I need exactly the same amount of sine x's on both sides and exactly the same amount of cos x's on both sides. So let's first look at how many cos x's I've got on each side. Well, on the left-hand side, I've got 3, and on the right-hand side, I've got r sine alpha of them. Okay, I've got r sine alpha cos x's here, and I've got 3 cos x's here. And that means that r sine alpha must equal 3. But also, I should have the same number of sine x's on both sides. I've got 4 sine x's here, and I've got r cos alpha sine x's here, which means that r cos alpha must equal 4. All right, well, now what I can see that I've got is simultaneous equations. Okay, I've got 2 unknowns, r and alpha, and 2 equations, r sine alpha equals 3 and r cos alpha equals 4. Now, there's 2 delightful ways to solve this, and it's fairly non-standard. It's not sort of substitution or anything, it's cleverer than that. So the first thing to do is to find alpha, and a really clever way of doing this is by dividing one line by the other. So if I do the left-hand side divided by the left-hand side, the r's cancel. I get sine alpha over cos alpha, which is tan alpha, and 3 divided by 4 is 3/4. And now I can just use my calculator to work out what alpha is. So making sure I'm set to degrees, I get alpha equals 36.9 degrees. Now, obviously, when you solve for tan, you could add or subtract 180 degrees, but I want the alpha, which is between 0 and 180. Okay, now for the r's. Really clever idea here. I'm actually going to square both sides of both equations. So this top one becomes r squared sine squared alpha, and that's going to equal 9. This one here, I get r squared times cos squared alpha equals 16. And now if I add these lines together, well, this one actually, just to make clear, I'll put that I've divided. If I add these lines together, I get r squared sine squared alpha plus cos squared alpha. I've just factorised out the r squared, and that equals 25. But sine squared alpha plus cos squared alpha is 1. So r squared equals 25, and r is 5. It's obviously plus or minus 5, but I want the one which is positive. So that means that 3 cos x plus 4 sine x is exactly the same as 5 sine x plus 36.9. At least correct to 3 significant figures. What you'll notice here is that effectively what we've done is Pythagoras on 3 and 4, right? 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. So you can skim over this one by just showing clearly that you know that the r value is just the hypotenuse of a triangle if we had 3, 4, and then 5. All right. Here's a rule of thumb. So we'll go through plenty of examples so you see what I mean by this. But in general, if you have some amount of cos x plus some amount of sin x, then you can, the technique that I've just showed you will reliably find you an r cos of x minus alpha. So if you're aiming for r cos x plus or minus alpha form, then if there's a positive amount of sin x, we want a negative alpha in here. And if it's a negative amount of sin x here, we want a positive bit of alpha there. We'll do plenty of examples of this. Equally, if you want a r sine alpha form, which is what we just did in the previous page, well, then they match up. If you've got a sine x plus b cos x, then you'd have a plus alpha here. And if you follow this rule of thumb, it will always ensure that you get a value of alpha which is actually between 0 and 90 and a positive r value, and that it all works. So for example, if I had 2 sine x minus 5 cos x, well, what's the form I'm going to go for? Well, it's this form. It's a positive amount of sine x and then a negative amount of cos x. So the form I would go for there is r sine, and then the negative here matches with the negative here, x minus alpha. So that's the form I'd go for. In almost all cases, 95% of cases, they'll just tell you what form. Okay, there's just a few cases which we'll explore later on where you need to know. But this is our rule of thumb. Or for example, if I had 12 cos x minus 3 sine x, well, that's in this form, and I've got a positive amount of cos, negative amount of sine. Well, that's going to be r cos, and the negative amount of sine matches with a positive alpha, so x plus alpha. Okay, let's have a look at another example. Express 5 sine x minus 12 cos x in the form r sine x plus or minus alpha, where r is greater than 0 and alpha is between 0 and pi over 2. Okay, so here's how we start this. So I want 5 sine x minus 12 cos x to be absolutely identical to r sine of x. Well, and is it going to be plus or minus? Well, if we go back to our rule of thumb here, I'm trying to express a positive amount of sine x minus some amount of cos x. So I need actually a negative alpha. Okay, so that's going to be minus alpha there. To be honest, if you get that wrong, it's not really that bad. You're just going to find that you get a negative value of alpha. So don't worry too much if you get the plus or minus wrong here. It will just sort itself out in the end. For example, if I get that alpha is 30, you would have got alpha as minus 30, so plus minus 30, and you get a minus 30. Okay, so let's do this. So we expand the right-hand side. So that's r, big bracket here, sine A cos B, and then it's got to match the sign here, so minus sine B cos A. Now I expand this, and when I expand it, I try to put the alpha part before the x part, because as you'll see, it will make it easier. So I've got r cos alpha sine x minus r sine alpha cos x. And I always get the kind of the coloured pens out here because I think it's a useful thing to colour code this. How many sine x's have I got on each side? Well, I've got r cos alpha of them here, and I've got 5 of them here, which means r cos alpha equals 5. And then how many sine x's, how many cos x's have I got on each side? Well, I've got minus 12 here, and I've got minus r sine alpha here. So careful with the negatives. That means that r minus r sine alpha is equal to minus 12. Well, that obviously means that r sine alpha equals 12. So here are our simultaneous equations. Remember, it's division to find alpha and Pythagoras to find r. So the division I want to do is this line divided by this. So I get sine alpha over cos alpha, and the r's cancel. Sine alpha over cos alpha is tan alpha, and 12 over 5 is 12 over 5. So calculator's out, and make sure your calculator is set to radians, and we get alpha is 1.176. And for the r value, you can just use Pythagoras. So I'm just going to get that r squared is 5 squared plus 12 squared. When you work it out, you get r is 13. So what's our answer? Our answer is that 5 sine x minus 12 cos x is absolutely identical to 13 sine of x minus 1.176. And basically, if you had got it wrong and put a plus there, all that would have happened was that your alpha here would have been minus. Okay, so you would have got x plus minus 1.176, and you would have ended up with the same answer. So that's not anything to stress about. All right, so that's harmonic form. Hope you enjoyed learning about that. We're going to look at all its applications in the next few videos. See you there.